prayer, there's some on the table, and do your homework and find out who he is, because he's going to be here March 3rd. And that's going to be very timely since President Trump is going to be in Congress on March 4th. Anybody understand the significance of that date? Anybody? Okay. So look up at Derek Johnson. So the way we're going to do this tonight is we're going to do the I do the pledge, the prayer, and then George Kamala, for those who want to stand up, born and arrived at 45, he's the president, founder of that organization. He's going to introduce our J6ers, but he's got a little presentation for you first to launch the meeting. And I apologize for those of you who are standing, but I got here about 4:30 and people were arriving at 5. So this meeting was scheduled for 6:30, and we're doing the best that we can because this is a fire code issue. We can't put more seats in here. All right. Well, if you come in, you're going to have to stand, and if you want to eat, you're going to have to eat out there because we're over fire code. I'm Tracy. Oh, you're Tracy. Well, you're not going to stand. Tracy, you got to stand. All right. Somebody needs to give up their seat for one of our J6s.
Oh, no, that's okay.
No.
No.
There
you go.
There's seats here.
All right, so those of you who are just coming in, unfortunately, there's no seats if you want to eat, but I want you to stand and watch the program, and if you're going to eat, you have to go step outside. All right, do I have a volunteer to do the prayer?
How you doing? Very good. Yes, yeah. We would.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did it. So.
Everybody, dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity for us to gather together. Thank you for watching over our great nation. Thank you so much for getting me home to my family, and thank you to getting the other Jan Sixers back home with their families. Thank you for watching over us while we were in prison, some of the worst places you could ever be. We thank you for watching over us, and we just hope that you keep watching over this great nation, protect Donald Trump, and please guide us into the future once he's gone so that we know that we are here to serve you and be a nation, truly one nation under God. Amen.
Thank you. Woo.
Hey, Kenny, come here. Kenny. Kenny's going to do the pledge. Please stand. Take your hands off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Woo.
Yeah.
Justice will be served.
Yes. Amen.
Okay, if you did not sign in, please do. We're also selling raffle tickets. We have things we're going to be raffling. We're going to be taking a donation for our Patriots that just got released. Some of you have stepped up and offered to pay for our speakers' dinners tonight. And if you'd like to do that and you haven't yet, there's still some that none of you January
Thank you.
6ers are paying for
You
your
got
dinner
it.
tonight. So make sure the checks come to me so that
I need like a thing, you know.
Just thinking.
He said that they would pay.
Well, I'll let me have to.
All right, with that, George is going to do
This
it.
button, right? Oh yeah, well of course, yeah.
Did it?
And then
Got it.
we're gonna have the program, and then
So you're in charge of this.
They're doing the best they can. They didn't staff for this many people, so We're gonna have to do it differently next time. Okay, George?
How you doing? My name is George Paul, I'm the National President for Border Ride for 45. I was there, J6. I said hello to Kelly on the top step. Kelly, please stand. They actually stand anyway. Kelly Megs, formerly of Florida Old Peoples, sentenced to 12 years served for. And also Connie, his wife. And the poor boy, his son, had to run the farm while the parents were away. Which did a good job. Appreciate it. Now mom and dad can beat me. All right, we have Leslie Gray. Are you here? Please stand. Are you here, Leslie? You're not here? Oh, okay. She got sick. And Tracy, that's you. Can you please stand? 12-month sentence, served 7 months. Which we're glad that she's here and with the pardon. I have the exact. It has Ken and Angel. Ken, we met him when he was leaving prison, so we didn't want him to feel lonely. He still has a bottle of liquor we bought him when he came over. Because somebody promised us a meal with his wife. Anyway, we want to thank you, appreciate you. All the guys, all the J6s that were pardoned, and the ones that are on the list, there'll be an explanation about that. But the reason why we're here, and they are here, we want to let you know what you don't know, exactly what took place in those prisons. Besides them being treated because they were Trump supporters, the one that was in charge of the gulag there made sure they had 2,000 calories a day to eat, but they gave them tainted water and tainted food. But they gave them a piece of cake so they could make a 2,000 calorie meal of their dietary bullshit meal that they had. A lot of them were put in a hole. They'll explain about that. I'm going to play the video, and I want everybody to pay attention, exact words that President Trump says, and how he words the pardon. It's very important that everybody pays attention. And all these guys that came out and then served, they served their time already. Even all the ones will be investigated, and as President Trump said, they'll be pardoned. So let me play this video. It's 14 on the list, but that's 6. If you look at his list, you see the list? Yep. There's 14 names there. He's only saying 6. You want me to play that again, or everybody got it?
Please, can you turn it up? I think we can laugh about it. We might get people.
Approximately 1,500 for a pardon. Full pardon.
There was 1,500 throughout the United States that were jailed. A lot of people don't know about it. They only sort of 400 or 500 were there. No, that's what I think. This is not my wife. I just want you to know. She acts like it. No, that's not. No, that's not. these are charges that are brought, and the ones that are holding this all up, the ones that are holding this all up are the dirtbag rhino senators that are in, if you heard Lindsey Graham turned around and said, President Trump shouldn't have pardoned the J6s because he's a piece of shit. And so is McConnell, which we know already because China supports him. So, and this is why President Trump did what he did, because he needs his cabinet fulfilled. Everybody listening? They're given, I got a little recording here from Kash Patel also, which we took the photo that Adam Schitt said about the photo that Kash Patel was in with Laura Loomer, was the photo us guys were in with Kash and Laura Loomer. But he brought that up. And it's just the accusations that the only ones that died on that day, okay? I have the name. Is
I can tell you what it was.
yeah, I got them. I want to read each one of them. Now, Ashley Babbitt was assassinated.
Right.
Okay? And what pissed me off besides all that, the guy got a commutation from
Cái cô mà bị bắn chết trong cái ngày genocide thứ gì, cô đó là ba bị chết trong cái ngày đó và bị 1.500 người đang còn ở tù và được release rồi.
Okay. Benjamin Phillips and Kevin Gleason. Those are the ones that died on January 6th. So, and they keep on saying about the police. So there's a clip here I'm going to show you. Well, let me finish about the president.
Đây là những người mà bị chết trong có trong người.
The reason why I downloaded this because it's very important. You've seen it so many times, it's starting. I don't know how you don't break them off.
Approximately 1,500 people.
1,500 people here.
We're looking at different things, but the computations would be the ones that we'll take a look at. Maybe it'll stay that way or it'll go to the full party.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the department's and commutation orders. So this is
Well, get that down so they can be involved with it.
yeah, absolutely. This is a proclamation.
The other thing I want to explain is what was happening. All right, like I said about the senators, and the best warning that the senators got was from Musk, because Musk said when these senators run for office again, they'll dump millions of dollars to their opponents. So, and he's got the money. Okay. Yeah, what? I want to do one more video. Okay. Here we go. Here she goes. Hey, honey. All right. Now this is my favorite person that I like to grab by his neck. Yeah.
The song you promoted, and here's what you said. I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording. Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting, because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio, and then of course had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the war. We. If you had nothing to do with it, Mr. Patel, why did you tell Steve Bannon and all his listeners that you did?
That's why it says we, as you highlighted.
Yeah, and you're part of the we, right? When you say we, that includes you, doesn't it, Mr. Patel?
Not in every instance.
Well, that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Okay. So we included the person who pronounced the word. But maybe not. Well, you also said this, Mr. Patel. We were able to capture the recording thanks to their courageous singing, and we were able to take it to a studio. So let me ask you, Mr. Patel, after saying we took it to a studio, did you take it to a studio?
Me personally, no.
After you said that we digitized and recorded it and all that, did you take it to a studio and digitize and record it?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so you were lying to Steve Bannon and his audience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was using the proverbial we appropriately.
That's the proverbial we. Oh, I see. And so, you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
With promotions on social media and saying you were going to get this to #1 on the billboards, right, Mr. Patel?
I think you did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Isn't that great? People violently attack police. Have a #1 song thanks to you, Mr. Patel. That's something to be really proud of. Now, you claim, Mr. Patel, you didn't know about any of these people in the choir. Is that right?
I did not know about the violent offenders, and I did not participate in any of the violence in and around January 6th.
Tell me, Mr. Patel, what due diligence did you do to find out who was in the choir before you promoted their beautiful views? These people assaulted law enforcement. What due diligence did you do?
Senator, I didn't record it myself.
So you did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you're being considered for director of the FBI. And here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associated with, now the President of the United States in song, were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're
Oh,
talking to
no, look at that. I want you to look at that if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with this man and women, as you know.
You glorified it and saw
I did not take a single dime out of it.
Well, let me
How would you ask them if I had their backs? And let's see about
Let me
that.
ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr.
Yes or
Schiff,
no? But they're fit to be director.
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song to someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement, I decry violence against law enforcement. You can say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask you about something else that you did, Mr. Patel. Did you claim that Donald Trump declassified all the documents?
Yeah, let me play a song. I'm gonna play a song that they're talking about. And if you download the song, the money was on
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
Let me have your attention 1 minute now. Okay. Now, the song, you can download it on, please, I'm talking, eat stuff your face so you don't talk back. All right, so we appreciate if you do download the song because the money goes to the J6. Now, what happened with the money? All right, Ed Henry was the one of Mailman Media that did the song, produced the song. But the checks, I was a witness to the checks were given to Kash Patel. Now, the reason why a lot of money wasn't distributed from Kash Patel's fund is because of the criminal charges supposedly that were charged. So he didn't want to do anything bad because he knew he was going to be picked. It's a game that's being played because for the simple reason is it's very important for Kash Patel to be the FBI director and Pam Bondi the Attorney General. And I'll give you another surprise I think might happen is Matt Gates might be his our Assistant Attorney General.
Wow.
Always gonna run for governor. But the thing that's important, the other thing about all the pardons that were given to Biden's, I think Trump's son told him, you forgot to pardon yourself. But according to the Constitution, Article 2, Paragraph 2, that you can't be pardoned if you're not charged with anything. So the pardons are useless. You can look that up. We got pocket Constitution, same thing. But it's very important to read the Constitution and exactly know the Constitution again, especially when these pieces of garbage are running in Florida, a state Senate, Congress. Also, the reason why I'm out of breath, I was a World Trade Center survivor, so I have now I got blessed with COPD last year. So what happens is we have to make sure that whoever we put in these offices have to be constitutional republics because we want to save the republic. Now, if everybody saw Trump's Davos, anybody watched when Trump was speaking Davos? Did you see the emblem he had behind him? He did not have the American flag. He had the sign of the republic, the eagle. He had the eagle with the branch for peace and the arrows for war. He made that perfectly clear about that. The original inauguration day was March 4th, and they changed it. There's a lot of stuff. You must pay attention to everything President Trump says when he speaks. As you know, Panama Canal, China moved out of the way because they told them we'll block the canal with all the ships and nobody's going to move anything. That was number one. Mexico sent 10,000 troops down to the border. So that was a big threat that she wasn't going to do anything. And now we're working on fruitcake in Canada now. Trudeau, that his father was Fidel Castro, which is true. The judges that were at the January 6th were all fired by President Trump, just to let all the J6s know. Okay. Now the J6 committee, which they all begged for pardons, supposedly they didn't do anything wrong, but the information in the files disappeared. But Trump has it, so don't everybody worry about it. You know, like I said, read between the words of everything that's happening. The other, one more thing I'd like to say, we're going to bring up the J6s and you can ask them some questions. They would explain to exactly what they went through. You have to exactly know. They were hostages. They have not performed any kind of crime. In fact, when I met Kelly outside on the top of the step, he said, a group of us went in just to pray. True, Kelly? Right? So, I'll have Kelly come up here first and tell him his experience about the wonderful gulag that the woman that ran it, she was a big Trump hater. All right, and one more thing is I was trying to download another video, but Senator Cruz questioned Patel about the 20,000 troops, the National Guard that they requested for January 6th, and they were refused by Pelosi and Schumer. So all the stuff is going to come out. Epstein's list is going to come out. P. Diddy's list is going to come out. Okay. All right. Kelly, you want to take the mic a little bit, please? Appreciate it. Thank you. I want to introduce Kelly Rab. I should make you sit down so I don't feel that. Sure. That's all right. I still love you. Anyway, appreciate it.
Hello, how's everybody?
Yes.
It's good to be home, that's for damn sure.
Oh, yes.
So, I know we've all heard stories about everything. I'm just going to kind of start a little bit from the beginning, but he brought up the song, so we'll talk about the song real quick. Ed Henry, I was actually communicating with Don Ewan and Donna Fiducia from Cowboy Logic. If you don't have an opportunity to watch them on Real America's Voice, on the weekends, they are the most supportive people in the J6 community. They have had January 6ers on constantly for the last 4 years. We were able to call them from the DC jail when we had that 1 hour out when it originally started. And they have done nothing but support us over and over again in all different ways, including picking me up in a rock and roll tour bus in front of the prison when I got out. So that was pretty cool. Stockwood Prison Whiskey, so that was cool. That song was actually, Don had heard about the song because James McGrew's mother happened to be, the way the song started was, we were not allowed to go outside. We were in a special unit. We were housed together. When I arrived at the DC Gulag, I got there at 2 a.m. on a Monday morning, and they put me in a cell by myself with a bedroll, my clothes, and that was it. They did not open my door until Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The little slot in the door would open, your food would come in, and you better be there to get it, or it would be on the floor. So it was pretty much, I thought, like, this is prison. This is like what I'm going to live in for the next, however long it's going to be. And so it's pretty crazy to be in your own mind for that much time a day. And in DC, we spent 9 months that way. Wow. Where we were locked down for 23 hours a day. We were out for 1. And 1 hour goes pretty quick, let me tell you. When you try to race over to make a phone call, take your shower, go back and make a phone call, maybe heat up a cup of coffee in the microwave, and it's back in your cell. Oh. The bigger problem was when you got out in the mornings, you might not get out the next day until the afternoon. So if you're out from 8 to 9 in the morning, you don't get back out of your cell till 5 or 6 o'clock the next day. Wow. So you were in it not only for 24 hours, but you had that extra time. So it seemed like forever. And it got to the point where when they opened that door, you stepped out, you were gasping for air. It seemed like you were just to have some fresh air in your face. And it was pretty bad. The only thing you could see from the cells there was C2A and C2B. In C2A, which was your intake cell, if you got up on the top bunk and you look out the window, there was a little 4-inch window real up high that you could look out of. And the only thing that was out there was a cemetery. And so it wasn't a good place to be in. The guards hated us. They did this thing where they would walk every hour. They had to walk. They had these built-in things in the wall and they had to touch it every hour. Well, what they would do is they would bang on your door as they walked by every hour. They're banging on your door and shining a light in the cell to make sure you moved. So they didn't want nobody hanging themselves, you know what I mean? So they would walk through, bang on the door. So you never really slept all the time. You didn't have a whole lot of sleep. They kind of kept you awake, which is, I guess some kind of a torture tactic or whatever they want to call it. I don't know why they do it, but that's what they did. So we went through that, and then we were locked down so much, they wouldn't even let us outside. So after about 2 months, they finally woke us up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, great news, you guys get rec time. So we come out of the cells, and they put a waistband around you, a chain around your waist, and then you get cuffed to that. So you're cuffed at the waist like this.
Wow.
And then they shackle your legs together, so you're walking like this.
Wow.
So they shackled and chained us all up, and there was 42 of us in there at that time, and we were all in individual cells, two floors. And they walked us out that front door, and as soon as that first guy hit it, you might know him, he had his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, okay? As soon as his foot hit that hallway, it was the first time anybody had stepped out of that unit other than going to medical, and he started singing the national anthem. And as each man hit that hallway, we started singing that national anthem. And it was screaming throughout that entire facility. So that national anthem was like a big deal to us right then. I mean, I was crying, okay? I'm not a young guy, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, when I was walking through that hallway and we were singing, I was crying like a baby because I was like, man, this is what it's about, you know what I mean?
Right.
We only had each other at that point, and that's what it was, so.
Right. Wow.
No. It originally was, we never sang it again for a couple weeks because they told us, look, if you sing it on the way back in, because they told us to stop singing, we wouldn't. And when they shackled and chained us to bring us back in from the rec yard, which by the way is about the size of this room, maybe double this room, maybe 3 times this room, right? Where the basketball court is. So it's a basketball court with like 10 feet of grass around the outside. And you just walk around inside the fence. We just all circle around. That's all we do is just walk in circles. So we came back. They said, if you sing on the way back in, you guys are never getting rec again. You're never coming outside again. As soon as we hit that hallway, we started singing. You know what I mean? You're not going to stop us from singing. You know what I mean? It was at that point where you can take me away from my family. You can take me away from my freedom. But you cannot take me away from my spirit. And that's ultimately all you had left. So you held on to it a little bit. When we were locked down for a while, and they were doing 1-hour shifts. They would let 5 cells out at a time. So you had 20 on the bottom, so it's 4 hours in the morning, and then they do 4 hours in the afternoon. 4 hours, and the next day it was the top that they didn't miss it, so it rotated. Well, we were done by 7 o'clock of doing all the recs, and we started handing out little notes. I banged on the wall, my neighbor, Guy Ruffett, and I said, hey man, listen, we should do that anthem thing a little more, you know what I mean? We started talking about it. We got Jess involved because she's very loud. She can hear her all over the block, right? So we basically orchestrated, the 3 of us put it together. We got all the notes out to everybody. We're going to start singing the anthem every night at 7 o'clock. And then that's when we started doing it kind of regularly. And it was horrible. Let me tell you something. It was the worst anthem you've ever heard. Okay? Everybody was behind the glass, which is your door shut, and the only thing you can see out of it is this little window in your door, right? And you can't hear a whole lot either. Some of them were quieter than other cells, so there's little windows there, and we're singing, and we're trying to stay together while we're singing, and you can't. You'd have to stop singing to hear where they were in the song, and it was terrible. But the only thing that was always perfect was when we sang USA at the end, and we started banging on our cell doors and kicking our cell doors. Right. It was loud. It was really cool. So we would actually have some of the lieutenants from the bottom floor come up and go, what is going on in here? And it was because we were banging on the door so loud. So that's how the anthem thing started right there. And just so you guys know that. And that's my first couple weeks there. So we're going to bring Kenny up now.
Now, the majority of the ones that are on that list were 10 oath keepers, which the oath keepers are a majority of veterans and police officers, and 4 of them were Proud Boys. Kenny, his wife Angel, he was, for 4 years he was in, and he's going to tell you his experience. But that's what the thing was. The oath keepers, they had a hot on for the oath keepers and the Proud Boys, and everything that whoever walked in. And the thing was, the buildings were open from the inside out. They have computer numbers on the door, and they're brass doors. They're like 700 pounds each. So the doors are open with pistons. So they opened the doors. Nobody broke into the place. So they invited everybody in. There you go.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
I'm Kevin Megs, co-defendant. I was arrested about a month after he was, and pretty much went through the same thing he did. It was a rough experience. You never think much about the criminal justice system and what people go through until you put through it yourself, and then also have the power of a crooked government levied against you at every avenue. It was a very trying, hard time. So one thing that Kelly didn't mention that kept us all going was the mail and the outcry of support we received from all of you guys. So I would like to thank you guys on behalf of us for all that support, because without that, we wouldn't have made it as far as we did. You know, we had things to keep us together, like the anthem, the camaraderie, the brotherhoodship, but the mail and the outcry of support was one thing that kept us just above water. So thank you guys very much. I always tell people, people say, apologize and everything else, and I say, if my experience is what it took to bring awareness to how crooked, especially the federal criminal justice system, then I only consider it a continuation of service to my country, because it opens the eyes to everything else. Because although our experiences were put out in the spotlight, there's thousands of other Americans who go through the same exact things we did for other things that may not get the limelight, because people on the outside just say, oh, those people are criminals. They deserve what they got. But one thing I learned, I met a lot of guys in prison that were good guys that just made poor decisions, and they didn't deserve to sit in prison 10, 20, 25-year life sentences for petty things, so that's one thing this experience has brought me, is how to advocate for those guys. So I try to every chance I get, because what we experience is just a drop in the bucket of what a lot of other people experience. We just, given who we were and the situation, there was a lot of light shed. So it was rough. But like I said, thank you guys. And if you got any questions, you want to ask anything, I'm sitting over here with my wife, love of my life. So, thank you guys.
When we used to do rallies, we always had the Oath Keepers or Cowboys to help us out, because of rallies when we were with Binhvo and stuff like that. So they helped us out a lot. I consider them my brothers, all of them, and they know that. There's another one I wanted to mention about, is Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown was set up before January 6th. The FBI wanted him to be, he was part of the Oath Keepers, they wanted him to be one of like a spy, an insider. And he refused to do it, and he recorded the FBI when they were approaching him about this. So he got, and they're still dragging him around, because he was pardoned, right? From that, he came out of Washington, D.C. They burned all the stuff in his jail cell, and then he had to go back in again. He slept on the floor. Then he was supposed to come to Florida. Did he go to Florida? Nope. Now he's pardoned now, right? So they shipped him to Kentucky. From Kentucky, he went until Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, I thought his wife was supposed to be here, but this is how, and the problem is the corruption is still there, because there's the leftovers from the Biden administration. And that's why everything is all on hold. And everything will come to play once the nominees take their jobs, Kash Patel and Binhvo-Ngoctrang. So we all have to do not be complicit, because just because Trump won, it doesn't mean it's effing over.
It's just begun.
That's right, just begun. So everybody, their meetings, is very important to come to these meetings. It's not for show or tell. It's very important that everybody knows exactly what happened. There was no such thing as insurrection. They love that word. They did everything to produce, and Democrats are good for that. And Adam Schiff there, he used to be a when I met Trump, when we were talking about it, he asked me some questions. I told him, listen, I would love to take care of pencil neck, and he used that phrase that I used to put my hands around his throat. But, the reason why he won the Senate seat, because California is very well known to keep on voting until a Democrat wins. Okay? And little Sodom and Gomorrah happened in California. Maybe a little blessing by God, or punishment by God. They're just things that come to man. But we have to keep all the J6s and everybody else in prayer. And I said, please come to these meetings. The RE, Republican electric chairs, whatever the hell they call them, they are useless. They are not, they're part of the Republican Party. There's a bunch of rhinos. They're all in Florida. Florida's being run like the mafia. All the dirtbags and everything. William Simpson that he got endorsed. And Trudeau, yeah. They all voted yes for the illegals. So we have to make sure, like I said, go to these meetings, very important. And we have to vote for the right people. And when they say yes, oh, we're for the First Amendment. Oh yes, we're for the Second Amendment. Well, tell me, what about the First Amendment? Explain to me what you mean by the First Amendment and what you mean about the Second Amendment. These are the questions you have to ask these dirtbags that are in here. And I went up to Tallahassee. When I woke up, the chairman said, oh no, because they know I endorsed a lot of them. And I gave them hell for it too. So any other J6s want to speak? Please, yes, no? There you go.
Great. Okay, just to piggyback what George was just saying is that this battle is not over, and so we cannot relax, which is why we started doing meetings again, because we're not done. And we want to get our committees back the way we used to have them about 2 years ago when we kind of lost them to the rec. And the rec's not going to be doing them anymore, I don't think. So we want to have our committees back. On the tables, there are grassroots initiatives, which are a list of all the committees that we've had before. And I'm going to pass these around. They're going to circulate. Please put your name and your contact information on which one you'd like to be part of, like voter integrity, school board, candidate development, anything that's on the list, because we need to keep going. And by the way, Michael Slabka over here from the John Birch Society, he was teaching our Constitution class. He has an excellent Constitution class. If you're interested in that, put that on here too, because we'd love to get that going again, because we need to get people educated about the Constitution. We're going to get a real tutorial coming in the next month or so.
Tell me where and I'll be there. My name's Adam, an alcoholic. Oh wait, wrong name. That being said, if anybody thinks they have a problem, come to me after the meeting. I just want to say, I didn't have it as hard as the guys in the DC Gulag. I was down in Miami, and compared to the Miami BOP, compared to those guys, I had it easy. I had it good, and I just want to piggyback on what Ride for 45 said. We won a little battle with Trump's victory, okay? But civilization stands on the shoulders of everybody in this room. Amen. And for civilization to continue to stand, we have to go out there and do things like what Scott Bressler did in Pennsylvania. And, he's trying to do it in New Jersey now. The DNC, they have doubled down with the Democrats have doubled down with their insanity, with who they've elected with the DNC. Kevin Jackass, and David Hogg as vice chair. And we gotta fight this insanity, and that's exactly what it is. So keep doing what y'all are doing and double down. Because like I said, it's just a little battle, and we're right in the middle of a war. God bless America.
Hi, I'm not very great at public speaking, but my name is Tracy. I was at FCI Tallahassee for about 7 months from due to January 6th. I had gone up to DC with the Oath Keepers to do a medical detail there. And I think everybody here knows that nobody engaged in insurrection. We went to stand up for our country. We all know the election was stolen.
Yes.
They can say anything they want on TV, they can run any kind of committees they want, but every single person there, and there were millions of them, knew that that election was stolen, that we were robbed.
Yes.
And I thought if they just see all of us and see the sea of people out there, they're gonna know that we're not gonna put up with this. We're not gonna stand for this. I mean, we don't, our vote is our voice, that's it. That's really all we really have. And you're not gonna take that from us. That's the only way that we can ever grab the wheel if things aren't going well. So, we went up and then I think it was pretty quickly afterwards, I think I knew that we were in trouble on the way home, just by the way Edie was spinning everything. I mean, we got lawyers really quickly, but it was a very devastating 4 years for everybody, for everybody. It was a relief to be in prison at the end because it was over. You didn't know what the Department of Justice was going to do. They were threatening you with all these charges. My charge carried 20 years, overcharging people. It was overwhelming, and I think that whole shock and awe thing was really what they were after. I think they want the rank and file American citizen to shut up and not make waves. So they came after us as hard as they could to scare us, so that we would never stand again. And I think the biggest lament I have of the fact that anything even briefly turned into a riot is because of how frightened people were afterwards. And I get it, our family was scared too. There were 3 of us from our family, 3 of us. And when I saw that they were portraying the Oath Keepers and how they were portraying, I said, this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fight. And there was a great deal of damage in the end. But I think personally it's worth it, really, right? Look where we are. Like if Trump had won a second term right away, we wouldn't be here.
Yep.
We have a real chance to actually rescue this country when we were like 3 wheels off the edge.
Right.
Okay, it was almost there. So I will never regret it as long as I live. I don't care what kind of suffering we had to go through. As long as we get this country back, it doesn't matter. I have kids. A lot of people in here probably have kids, grandkids. I want them to have what I had. I could see it all disappearing. And I'm just glad that we were there that day and that we went through. I was at FCI Tallahassee with 3 other ladies that were there for J6. Not the greatest facility, but none are. And our Department of Justice has a real problem. They put a lot of good people in prison, a lot of good people in prison, and I think that we need to speak up for them as well. Out of control, hiding Brady material, lying, piling charges onto people that shouldn't be. Some there for a reason and some aren't. But I think we need to reform the justice system. I hope Kash can do that though. I'm going to let my nephew, who I took with me, I took my nephew, my husband, and my friend Leslie, who was going to speak tonight. And it was a heavy load to carry. I invited them all and planned the trip, and now, here we all are. We got a full-on FBI raid and with the kids and pulled out of our house at gunpoint. It was quite intense. But, in the end, here we are, saving America, right?
Yes.
William, right here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm cold, so just bear with me. I was 21 at the time when I went up there. I just probably on the younger side. I was actually attached to Kelly's group, although he doesn't know me because I met him the day prior. So I kind of looked like a bunch of not smart people when they try to pin that conspiracy charge. But it was a king's court, so they got away with it. I'm not going to complain. I was on house arrest for 4 years. Well, I am going to complain, but I wasn't a gulag, so I'm thankful. Hit with like 7 different felonies.
a lot of mornings waking up and then finding an email saying they found some sort of heinous text message I sent, and then I gotta explain that. But I mean, we knew going up to trial that we were gonna get convicted, so the objective was just to avoid jail time. We succeeded, so I'm thankful for my attorneys for that. And I mean, all the prosecutors got fired anyway, so goodbye, Nestler, you know. You still there?
Yeah. Oh, busy, I guess going soon.
Probably not for much longer. I mean, regardless, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, it got boring after the first week, but I mean, being able to take a shower in privacy and sleep in your own bed and eat whatever you want and have freedom of communication is, I mean, I've heard the horror stories and it's a luxury. So, luxury compared to what the loggers had to deal with. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. I mean, I went up there, I went inside the building. I mean, I just took videos. I walked around. I'm pretty sure if I went back up there, as long as I go through the gift shop first, I can do everything the exact same and not get in trouble. But 24 minutes, and then because of 24 minutes, I lost 4 years of my life, basically in purgatory the whole time. Not suffering like they did, but still, you know, a lot of doors closed simply because of that. They've been opened back up, and I'm thankful for Trump. And I'm going to be honest, that's all I got to say, so if there's someone I can hand this off to.
I like to tell people what to do. Anyway. Chuck. Anyway, I want to introduce this young lady, who's Ken's wife. The girl is very tough, and she's from Louisiana, and I'm still waiting for that dinner. And Kenny's saving that bottle. But anyway, the closest that I got to everybody, because I was very lucky. I was there on January 6th. The FBI came to my house. I told them I meet them at a coffee shop, which was conservative grounds. And believe it or not, they go visit that conservative grounds all the time, so you know they're spying. So they showed me pictures of myself with drone shots, and they asked me who was this. I had the mask up, and they were pretty nice shots. So I asked them, could I get a copy? They said no. So I got a little pissed off at that, but they asked me what group I belonged to, and I told them what's on my vest. And then I brought them out to my bike and showed them that there was a knife inside my furring that was thrown at me when I was on I-95 doing 85 miles an hour. Somebody tried to kill me because of the Trump stuff. So, but Angel, I'm sorry. So Angela, it's Angel. Angela is part of Angel.
Yeah.
Italian. It was an Italian thing. Anyways, I'd like to introduce her. She's a sweet, loving person. Make sure Kenny's very happy. And I saw how much she kissed him when we all met at the end of the jail. I even kissed him too. Alan kissed him.
Thank you, George. Hi, everyone. My name's Angel Harrelson. I am the wife of a retired Army Sergeant, Kenneth Harrelson. He's sitting over there. He's the love of my life. And for the past 4 years, I have fought for his innocence, and I still haven't quit. And he's the one of the guys that got commuted, just like Kelly Megs. They the ones that got their sentence commuted. And they still fighting it. They still have to go to appeals and all that stuff. So we are still on the lookout, trying to make sure everything gets put out there, all the truths and all that stuff. But I do have one more thing I want to do before I continue. Miss Robin, can you come up here? I got something for you. I want to say thank you for doing this and having us here. And I'd like to present to you a patch that I made for you.
USA.
Really appreciate you having us to come out here and speak and everything. As far as me being a wife of a J6er, we have, the wives and the children have been put through hell. We get threats. We have received, you have the card? Okay. I received mail threats at my own home. And this was constant, almost every other day in the beginning. Then it went to twice a week. Then it's once a week. Now we get it once a week, as you can see. This is the postcard we get in the mail. Yeah.
Thanks to the fake media.
Yeah. Well, the one that's addressed to it says Gomer Ken Harrelson, felon, and it has our address. And this is the last one we received just recently. It says, "Make America Great Again. Deport that illegal alien, President Elon Musk, back to South Africa, along with his fascist puppet, the First Lady Donald Trump." That's what it says. Yeah, we get once a week. It's lessened recently, but I doubt that's going to lessen because now that pardons and the community census has happened, we're going to get it more often. But I lost 4 jobs during this time. The first year, no one would hire me. I got fired because my husband was one of the oath keepers that got arrested. And they told me I was a high-risk employee, so I got fired from 4 different jobs.
Wow.
And I ended up starting my own online store, my own business, because I got tired of not making the money. And not only that, our son, he went into the military during the time his dad was locked up. And he joined the Army. When he got to California, he has been through hell. They hated on him. They ended up threatening him, everything. They kicked him out of the Army because who his dad is.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So now he served 2 years. And then he come home. I told him that's okay, come home. We're proud of you either way. And they gave him an honorable discharge. And he signed up for 6 years. Oh yeah, he's talking about going back now.
Yep. Yeah.
We're proud of him.
Let go. Take it back.
But also about my online store, it's angelspatriotbattle.org. I do have business cards and I have some patches with me. I have J6C2B, where they were locked up. I have these hat sew on patches or iron on. And I have J6 Ashley Babbitt skull patch.
What's the name of the site again?
angelspatriotbattle.org. I sell them, yes. Yes, sir.
I mean, in the website?
On my website too. I have some here with me. And I do t-shirts, all of that. I have a whole online store.
Could we get all of the J6ers to stand up for us?
You see this shirt I have on right now? This is the only one of a kind. I designed it, and I made it. I actually want to make sure no one steals my design. But it says on the shirt, HOW J6 2021. H meaning hostage of war. As J6, never forgotten. But in the knuckles, it says J6er and life. But this is a one-of-a-kind shirt, so if y'all really want me to make it, it's gonna take me like a day and a half to make this shirt. I do all the patches and all the embroidery at my own home. But I have a couple of I have some samples of a hat that I just put together, and you're gonna like it. It's pretty much self-explanatory when you see it. But I do, everything I have, it is for sale in my totes. I got 2 totes back there, and I have different kinds of hats. It's not just J6er stuff. But that's it.
Never give up, never give up, and never surrender.
Could we get all the J6ers to stand up for
We
us?
will, but we've got a couple more, and then we're gonna do that.
Did you hear that request?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
We're gonna have a group shot. We'll take care of it. We'll have a group shot for all the J6ers.
Oh, you want to do first? Awesome. Thank you. Before I talk?
Okay, I do want to say something, that there is another J6er in here that came and you don't know. He was with us, he drove with us. It's Joe Hackett. Where are you, Joe? Could you stand up a minute? He's an oath keeper also. Good guy. I was sentenced to 15 months in prison. I went with my husband. I wanted to see Donald Trump at the White House. I had to give my VIP security clearance. I went, and I just wanted to say about these guys. They wanted me to do a plea deal, and they wanted me to tell them that my husband did things that he didn't do in there, and they were going to let me pardon me. They were going to let me just go and have probation. And you know what I did? I didn't do it. And they wanted 8 to 10 years for me in prison for being 19 minutes in the Capitol and doing nothing. So that's how corrupt they are. And they tried to do it, but the judge gave me 15 months. And I want to tell you that, Ken, I was in there with you, I was in there with Kelly, I was in there with Joe. These oath keepers did nothing but help the police and pray. There was no disrespect. That Capitol police officer was 6'7", that me, 5'4", had to help guard him and make sure he was okay. I prayed for him every week to come forward. When I came out of that building, I said, we're all going to get medals. My husband helped get people out of the front of the door. A policewoman even asked him, do you mind if I go to the bathroom while you get the people out of the door? So I thought, oh, we're going to be heroes. No, a month later, we're in prison, shackled and chained. Took away from my family. My son wanted to change his name because he didn't want to be associated with us. I mean, it's scary. You know, we were getting death threats like Angel said, but I just wanted to tell you how proud I am, and I would have never took a plea deal and lied, because some people did. I would never do that. So thank you.
Let me clarify on the comment of changing my name to not be associated. I thought about it because maybe it would be harmful for job searches and things like that. Because when I first got hired, the first thing they messaged me back is, are these your parents? Yeah. So they're all cool about it though. And that was one thing I wanted to say, is that you know, you can be online and a bunch of stuff like that, and you can read all these idiots online commenting on, you know, all these arguments. But I travel a lot. I've been to different countries now and everything, and I tell people a lot about my parents, and I have yet to have someone say anything bad about what they did. I've only heard words of support from, you know, all the way up and down the eastern seaboard. Even England, I was in England, and at the pub, I told the people about my parents, and they're like, all right, let's have a toast for them. So, the whole pub toasted to them. But, yeah, so everywhere, these guys, my parents are basically heroes to them. Every time I talk to them, well, when's your dad going to come up now that he's out? You know, you got to have a big party when he comes up. But yeah, it was difficult coming from college. I was in college when I gotten the message that they had been arrested. So I had to basically pack up shop and head back from my dorm, take care of the house. I had to learn how to pay bills. I was only, you know, hadn't done that really before outside of like a phone bill. I had to learn how a mortgage works. Thought it'd be a little easier. They should teach that in school. That was hard. And then, of course, the postcards. I loved getting those in the mail. I kept them hidden from Mom when she came back after her month in for the first time, and they kept Father. But I kept those hidden from her because I didn't want her to see them. But we've gotten some pretty bad ones. I have one that I don't even have anymore because it was so bad. I read it, and I had to put it in a plastic bag, and I drove it right over to the FBI. It was a very intense letter. But thankfully, they have prosecuted that guy. Also, I want to say that my father, while he was in, has written one book and co-authored another book. If you guys would like to get these are on Amazon. His first book is Fight, Fight, Fight. This is the one that he wrote by himself. Well, I believe in Memphis, right? Memphis. While he was in Memphis, and then while he was cellmates with a gentleman named Robert Morse. He's really cool. I've talked to him a bunch of times. His name is Lego Man. That's his nickname because he had a Lego capital that they accused him of building, I guess. It's up to scale, I guess, or something like that. But he co-authored this in Philadelphia, correct? This is One Question Remains, also on Amazon. Both of these can be found on Amazon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, Trump has done great things for a bunch of families so far. And even I wanted to mention my friend Nico and his wife Natalie and his beautiful son Edmund. He's 21. I tell him he's speed running life because he got kicked out of the Marines for not taking the COVID shot when he was 20. So now he's got a kid, a wife, and he's got VA benefits. But anyways, he'll be re-enlisting now because Trump signed for the back pay. So
Yes.
That's it for me, I guess. But yeah, the book Fight, Fight, Fight by Kelly Megs. And then One Question Remains. I think I turned it off. By Robert Morse and Kelly Megs. They're both on Amazon.
Okay. My name is Raymond. I was sentenced for 40 months in prison, and I did three. I was actually a late sentence, so I only did 3 months. Thank God. Yeah, and I gotta start off really by telling my arrest story, so it kind of tells you an idea of how things are in this country. But it was one of those stories. I was going on vacation to Colombia, and I got to the airport, and they were delaying. It's like, oh, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna get arrested, And so they get me at the counter. They said, okay, this is the FBI. We're gonna arrest you. Step away from the counter and everything like that. And I stepped away, and the FBI agent that was in charge there at the airport in Miami. So he basically, I give him my laptop, I give him my phone, I had 2 phones, and he pulls out my pants pocket, and he puts the cuffs on me, so now I just went in cuffs. He pulls out my pants pocket, and he literally pulls it out, and then he goes to the side of me, and he starts yanking on my pants, like the pants pocket starts like ripping it, like some of my pants pockets are ripped. And he's like, my whole hips are, I'm sitting at the airport, and all these people are looking at me. And then he goes in the other pocket, and I had about $10 in quarters. So he starts throwing it all over the airport. And then he pulls the other pocket out, and he starts using both hands and like wrenching my hips and ripping my pockets. This is like in a khaki pair of shorts. And he perp walks me through the whole spine of the airport to embarrass me. So this is kind of the kind of stuff that they don't want us to speak. They don't want good people in this country to stand up for their rights. And that's just an example of what you see. And, my parents, we both came here as immigrants, and they both lived in Nazi Germany as children, when they were younger, teens and children. And my father first lived in the Soviet Union, so Germany had occupied that part of the Ukraine and took him back to work in Nazi Germany. And so they would be horrified if they saw what America became just a few years ago, or recently, and that's the decision I decided to go to the Capitol that day, because I said, I'm not going to let this happen. And a lot of people,
different people did different things, but I want to say that, you know, people stood up for what they believed, because they were sick and tired of what they saw. And, you know, that's the reason I went there. And when they, you know, Ray Epps, the FBI agent, told us people to push a giant 50-foot Trump sign over the back of the Capitol Police, that's when the whole back of the crowd got attacked. There was probably up to 1,000 mortars were shot at the back of the crowd. And that's what pushed everybody forward. So it was really an attack on the people. That's really what happened. I'm telling you. And it was, I had a guy hit in the head. The guy next to me got hit in the head with a mortar. One foot next to my ear. I couldn't hear. And at that point, that's what really ticked the crowd off. And that's what caused the surge and everything to happen. And I said, you know, what do we got to lose at this point? We lost it. It was a stolen election. You know, we know that all the things that are happening in this country. And that's why I decided to protest in the Capitol. You know, because I said, what do we got to lose? All the mandates coming, all the things that were forced upon us. And I said, you know, that's really my reason for trying to get into the Capitol that day. And I just want to say thank you so much to all the people that wrote letters, that encouraged us. Because I tell you, the people in prison, that was such an encouragement to us, really. So I want to thank everybody for that. And man, what a great country we got, huh? I mean,
Thank you.
What a great president, right?
Yes.
We have one more coming up, and then we'll have the group picture. Is the two lists going around for all of you to get involved? Because I hope you feel activated after you hear their stories.
Oh,
Because
Robin?
we cannot stop.
Robin, don't forget, I have donuts.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
I am Joe Hackett.
Yo, Joe!
Teacher, went up with Kelly and Connie and got to know Zach leading up to that. Kenny and Angel, wherever you guys are at. Love you guys. I'm glad to see you guys. Oh my gosh. Put it up to your mouth. Okay. My mom, I've been bottled up for 3.5 years. They put the hush on us for so long, and honestly, for my family, I kept my mouth shut. And this is the first time in front of anybody. And, I could relate in many ways to every single story I heard. I was there at C2B. Kelly was there in March, then Kenny in April, and then me in May. And then I was only there for a few months, and then I got to go home on home confinement, very strict home confinement, because they deemed me a computer genius, a hacker. Can't be trusted with any electronics, so I couldn't even watch smart TV. I couldn't watch Netflix or Amazon Prime. Couldn't leave my house for 2 years waiting for the trial. Weighing down on me, and I was home, man. I feel for you guys, and I felt for you guys the whole time. And I'm so sorry I couldn't reach out to you guys. I also want to thank Republican Assembly of Sumter County. They have, literally, when I was in my lowest of low, they were there to bring me up. And without those folks, honestly, I don't know if I would have made it. So
We love you, Joe.
Thank you so much. I mean, there are so many stories, and I wouldn't even know where to start, but I just want to thank you guys for being supportive, because without all of you guys believing in us, it was a very, very lonely place to be, you know. I was a practicing chiropractor for 25 years. FBI made an appointment at my office, you know, want to do a patient appointment, show up Friday, a little bit early, and they all surround me and, you know, gunpoint. And then they parade me like they did so many for about 2 hours in the parking lot, waiting for, you know, just waiting for all my neighbors to see me. Eventually they took me to, you know, Pinellas, then they took me to Oklahoma, then they took me to, you know, Atlanta by way of, you know, Pennsylvania, then to DC. I mean, it was, they call it diesel therapy, you know, and they basically travel you around. They put me in a place, thankfully I had Robert Morse. Who mentioned Robert Morse? I had Robert Morse in quarantine with me, and then from there, instead of going to C2B where we're supposed to be, and Kelly's trying to contact my wife saying, you need to find Joe Hackett. Call the warden, call the warden. And so she's doing this, she's trying to find me. They put us in the general population. And eventually, the sergeant came up and said, I don't think you guys are gonna live another day here. They were messing with us, And he said, you guys could sign yourselves into protective custody. Instead of going to protective custody, they took us to this one flew over the cuckoo's nest zoo. It was hairy. It was hairy. They put us in, what was it called? Disciplinary restriction. Cuffed behind the back, walk in, stick your arms through the thing, slam the door shut, close the window, and then the water would come on once or twice a day when you could get water, use the toilet. It was a interesting experience. And then a couple days later, Robert was writing letters to the guard every day. And finally, this one guard came up and he seemed a little bit receptive. And I said, hey man, I don't think we're supposed to be here. And within literally minutes, we're out of the cell and we're in C2B. And I'll tell you what, C2B may have sucked, but compared to where we were, it was like heaven. I saw all these great guys, and I mean 40 some great guys all come up and give me a big hug. It was like coming home in prison. Wow. It was amazing. And then and then the ritual of singing the national anthem was, it was amazing. We had prayer groups, every night. It was good. That part was good. There were some good parts, the camaraderie. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, so like Angel mentioned, the hate mail, the hate calls. We had a business. I was a chiropractor, my wife was an acupuncturist, and she got so many calls and so much hate mail and so much this and so much that. She literally, she got to a point where she just had enough. She, when I got out of prison, I didn't have a home to come back to. I basically moved in with my birth mother, who I only met a few years back, and thankfully I had somewhere, but kind of ended my marriage, so I had the government to thank for that. But on another good note, it brought me closer to God than I ever knew was possible.
Thank you.
On that note, I'm going to set the microphone free, and thanks for listening to me. I was sentenced to 42 months, and I served 21 months, and I got cut off about 6 months before my sentence was over. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, all the J6ers, whether you spoke or you didn't, would you all come up? Because we're going to take a group picture. While they're doing that, I want to acknowledge Pastor Blair. I know you weren't expecting this, but would you stand up? So Pastor Blair, so George, I want you to turn around and see who you offended all night, okay? Pastor Blair has a church, and they support President Trump. So if you've been looking for a church and you want to hear the message that's the values that we have, Pastor Blair's Liberty Church. I know some of you in here attend. Could you just say a word or two?
Well, I am sorry, as all of us are, that it took what we've been through the last 4 years to awaken our country. But I'm thankful that we are awake. I'm thankful that we are in this awakening, and we've been given a political reprieve. And as you have noted, it's not over yet. We need to make this permanent. Quite frankly, the church needs to be very active in making this permanent these next 4 years. So God bless each and every one of you. We're thankful that you survived, and we're thankful that you're alive and out. May God bless you. I've been asked, we have a campus in Oklahoma. We have a campus here in Florida. And our campus here in Florida, we meet at Embassy Suites at Crane's Roost Lake on Sunday morning, 9:30 Bible class, 10:30 Sunday morning preaching. We would love to have you come and visit us.
Okay.
USA!
Anybody is looking for a church home because we need to return back to the Christian values? Now, what we would like to do, if you have questions, we can circulate a mic and you can ask questions. Is there anybody that has a question that hasn't been answered yet?
Robin?
I just wondered, any of the J6ers, if your local congressman or local city council or sheriff was ever available to try to help you?
No.
Nobody?
Thank you.
That's terrible.
Anybody else?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so,
See?
okay, I'll be right there. Hold on. So Debbie and Joe are gonna go around and sell more raffle tickets, so we'll have a raffle at the end, so there's 3 for 5, 8 for 10, 20 for 20. I'm looking for another mic, so we'll have to go back and forth. Anybody over here will have a mic?
Okay, this is a question for all of the J6ers. With your commutations and pardons, have you all had all of your rights restored? No? So communities, you're still considered convicted felons? Is there an effort put forth to reach out to the president to have your rights restored? Hang on everyone, please, so we can hear that. So the question was, how many of the J6ers have had their rights restored, and 3 of them have not? And then the question was, have they reached out to President Trump to see about getting their rights restored? If you would, please.
The day that he announced it, he said they're going to look into the cases and determine. In our particular case, the 3 of us up here, we had 2 officers live on the stand, which was there's evidence of that happening. We have an FBI agent that live on the stand, and we have a letter from the prosecutor saying we didn't do it, basically. But they would not allow us to put that in court. So I personally believe that what's happening right now is that this case is being investigated to show a lot of the injustices that occurred by the Department of Justice in prosecuting these trials. Because our trial was so easy. We were non-violent offenders. None of us had any violent charges. So they keep talking about violence. Well, they can take a non-violent group and say these people were charged improperly. They were lied about under oath. We have video evidence that it was a lie, and we can prove it. So we really believe that that's what this is about, and that it's going to be an opportunity for them to expose everything. Right now, Barry Loudermill, the representative from Georgia, he has been working with Stephen Baker, who has done 2 videos about our trial itself and how the officers lied on the stand in our trial. So Loudermill can now be appointed to the head of the new J6 committee. We're pretty confident that there's a lot of things going to be coming out here in the next couple of months. So. God bless you all. I do want to mention that although there were 1,500 J6ers and we're here now, there were 4 people that died that day: Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Greason, and Benjamin Phillips. 2 people took their lives, Matthew Brenna, and I'm not sure who the other one was. And I haven't gotten my name yet. I will get it. All right.
So, like with January 6th, I didn't actually have a plan coming up here, like what I said. So, I just want to add 2 things. I'm thankful to everybody who sent letters. I've read all of them multiple times, although my friends told me not to respond to them. So,
Hang on just a second. Everyone, these people have spent months, in some cases years, in hell. They deserve our complete attention, so please, if you would, let's let them speak.
I just wanted to say again, thank you for anybody who sent letters. Like I said, I've read all of them multiple times. I've kept all of them. And, attorneys told me not to respond to any of them, but I have all of them, and I'm thankful to anyone who sent a letter. And then, secondly, I wanted to add that part of my sentence was 500 hours of community service. And so, I made the executive decision to not do it. Because, I don't know, I kind of rolled the dice. I'm unable when it comes down. I kind of rolled the dice and thought, you know, if he wins, I'm not going to have to do it. And not that I have a problem serving the community, but, you know, it shouldn't be forced because that's kind of like slavery. I probably got rid of that. But, I only did about 50 hours. They were kind of coming down on me more at the end. So, I'm thankful that I didn't have to do that. So we were told by one of the guards that actually was friendly to us that they cleaned out that unit 2 weeks prior to anybody being arrested for January 6th. So they knew this was coming. They said they had cleaned out that facility and had it ready for us before we ever got arrested and the others started all coming in. And it wasn't hard to get people in DC to hate us. Anything to do with us in DC was not good.
My name is Leslie Russell. I was there when J6 was not arrested. I was carrying a flag in the morning that said forward of the Trump. And I was on the backside that faces the, I think, Supreme Court. And I didn't go to the rally, so I went early to the Capitol. And then when the police all left, which seemed coordinated and crowd searched forward, and we went up the steps, I went halfway up the steps and to the left of the portico with my flag. And I left early when my intuition or my guardian angel told me to. And as I went down on the ground floor level, there was grass and, you know, the sidewalks. A single door, a brownish black door opens, and a blonde woman, and I look back and I'm like, that's Liz Cheney. She beckons me in and tries to lure me inside the Capitol, saying, come inside, the most beautiful bathrooms you've ever seen. No, we all pride of me, right? But so, if you don't already know, it was a false flag and people were set up. And if I had gone inside, I probably, you know, could have had some big problems too. But yeah, we're in spiritual battle. We're pure angel. Thank you, J6ers. We love you all.
Take a picture with you guys. I want to show my grandchildren with Freedom Wilson. All right?
All right.
Robin?
Hi, how are you doing? I know that Marjorie Taylor Greene has been inspirational as far as this thing that she's gone to visit people in J6. But has the governor or any of the representatives in Florida? No. Okay. And another question. One more question.
The guy is good, right? Yeah. He's good. You still live in Melbourne?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Lawsuit based on what you went through, based on what the federal government.
With Angel and
Oh.
we drove together over here.
Oh, okay.
You guys live in this?
No, we live 40 minutes from Mount Laurel.
Hang on a second.
So like there's some stuff that helps us that wouldn't have been able to make it out because there's so much stuff we have to work through. That's actually.
What was the question?
Was never clear.
As far as the class action lawsuits go, there's been discussions about it, but nothing really solid yet. And then the other question about speedy trial, it's only a speedy trial if they want it to be a speedy trial. Otherwise, in the interest of public opinion, or whatever they call it, the interest of justice, we want to make sure we have all the possible evidence against you. So we sat 2.5 years before our trial.
Wow. Who asked that question? Wait, who asked that question?
What they did is they used the Patriot Act against them. By using domestic terrorism, they get away with just avoiding the Constitution altogether.
I think most of us are on the same watch. Like I can't
Who asked that question?
We're asking the state Scottish, like I couldn't get a flight from Zenton.
So I have a question for everybody here. Did anybody go out to Freedom Square to
Listen, come on, let's listen.
Hey, did anybody go up and sing the national anthem with the J6ers at Freedom Square? Because George and I did. Yeah, Freedom Square. Yeah. It's very powerful. Very powerful. It's a great thing. You can actually go online on YouTube and watch it. And so they played it every night. And it was powerful. These guys came on and spoke every night. And it was awesome. It was awesome to be part of that.
So how about if we let the J6ers go back to where they were sitting or mingle, and you can all just ask them questions casually, so we can have a... And I want every one of you, not one of you is paying for your meal, so give me your checks, so that because I have people that want to honor you by paying for your meal.
Wow. Quý vị vừa rồi mới coi đây là những người bị ở tù trong cái January 6 cái gì. Hôm nay có
Where is the sign up list for committee? I walked down, I couldn't find everyone. Who has the clipboard with the for the committee?
7 người quý vị.
Okay, Michael, you have one, where's the other one?
Wow, wow.
Okay. All right, so where is the other clipboard? Please. Where's the other clipboard?
Mask on, so.
Tuyệt vời. Rồi, quý vị ơi, nó đã vừa rồi quay quý vị quay xong là mọi người ở cái January 6 quý vị, còn mà hôm nay còn 7-8 người ở đây, nhiều người tù 4 năm là mới ra, còn nhiều người thì có 1 năm rưỡi, 15 tháng. Đó. Bởi vì quý vị thấy không, bây giờ người ta mới nói lên tiếng nói như vậy. Ok quý vị, vài hình ảnh quay cái game. Rồi. Quý vị thấy không, kệ người ta kệ quý vị, có nhiều rồi đó, giống như Boy đang học trong college quý vị, mà bị mẹ bắt ở tù để giờ nó ra nó phải take care, bill bồng ở nhà, tiền cửa, tiền nước, quý vị thấy không? Có nhiều cái vậy, nó vô tình nó bắt một cái là vô lý hơn quý vị.
Let's get behind President Trump. Let's save this country. It takes action at the local level.
Ok quý vị, thôi chia sẻ với quý vị hình ảnh ngày hôm nay, ok. Một lần nữa tạm biệt quý vị, bye bye. Bye bye mọi người.
We got a big problem right here in this state. We got a huge problem in this county. There's many of you in here that know this county is a mess. So is Wayne County.
Mấy người bị á, January 6 bị 2 mà quý vị. Kể đang
Chúng ta cộng đồng để help những người như vậy quý vị.
Dạ, bây giờ sẽ giúp đỡ những người vậy. Tại vì cái đó tù oan mà. Bây giờ sẽ là gây quỹ để lấy tiền giúp đỡ những cái người này.
Obviously, the more important thing to say tonight is,
Đấy. Thôi,
I know many of you are from the county.
chia tay mọi người
So
đi.
get active in your counties. Thank you. You can sign up here and we can delegate you to the county that you're from. So let's get
Ok,
ready to go
vâng.
there. Let's
Thank you. Bye bye quý vị. Hẹn quý vị những video sau. Hả?
See you for next video.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, Việt Nam.
Now, if anybody else that wants to buy raffle